Morning, everybody. I'm pretty sure I've hit most of you in terms of getting data for my project. But of course, it's the circular keyboard, and I'm pretty sure you remember what the design idea is, which of course is the ARC. No, so might as well just go ahead and give it a shot. So of course everybody has seen the memo application that it's used on. I've made essentially a second iteration of it. So the first time around it didn't have like an enter key and a backspace key. So they've been incorporated. Some of the feedback was indicating that the closer to the center keys were too thin. So I essentially took out the period and the comma for now. And backspace, spaces, enters. And there's also, I'm working at the moment, getting a more fully operational left-hand version. And that's pretty much as it stands.
Yeah, so you've done a lot of evaluation of this. What have you found?
I've processed some of the data, and it's actually, it could say everything, but it kind of might say nothing in this. That the mean rate of accuracy was within about a percent to 2%. And also the mean rate in terms of completion time for the test phrase was within about a second. So it's pretty competitive. Oh, it's just a standby on the handset.
So they were similar?
Yes, they're very similar.
Using a keyboard, using this keyboard, you got the same results?
Right, which could say that the ramp-up time for this keyboard is relatively natural, because not everybody had a lot of time on it compared to a normal QWERTY keyboard. But it also could say that everybody's equally bad in everything. I just, everything being equal, I would like to think that it's this keyboard is relatively lends itself to single-handed operation.
The only downside to this is that it actually takes. Let's turn it back on. It does take a lot of space.
Yeah, absolutely.
A standard keyboard, even the GNOME keyboard that we saw in class, is far more narrow. Agreed. Yeah, there definitely could be further optimization to try to reduce the footprint. And of course, more thought has to be put into making a landscape version, perhaps splitting into two and double arc it from both sides. So what was the mean time for that sentence you entered?
It was about 30 seconds. And so the QWERTY keyboard is slightly faster by about a second, so 30 and 29 type thing. Any other questions?
Would it be a problem to have the keyboard overlay even over like a notepad style thing? Because if you're not actively editing it, keyboard doesn't need its own space almost, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. It's just like how many features can I shove in during like the project time with one coder.
I think when I was using it, I found it pretty like.
Yeah, it's relatively intuitively natural.
Yeah.
Like one of the main, really the main case for why it's unnatural is reaching over to get Q. Meanwhile, Q is just kind of at the end of the bottom. I did find that there is, depending on the hardware implementation, there might be a dead space at the edge of the touch screen. So there might
could
be
actually show on the
here.
device. Because we're recording features showing your device.
So pressing A might not give immediate response, just because of perhaps like hardware dead space on the touch.
Interesting. One question also is the long-term usage. In the initial usage, it seems cool and natural in some ways, but if you were to use this every single day, that kind of feedback would be perhaps interesting.
Mm-hmm. Possibly. Like I've used it occasionally, during the process, and sometimes I'm just using the handset, and I want to do other tasks like browse the internet, and the keyboard's still there, so I might as well just keep using it. And it still lends itself to being used. It's just that on my previous version, when I didn't have enter, I would be stuck like trying to find another way to enter.
Have you tested on anyone outside this class?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, friends or family, whoever I run into.
And similar feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. Like one of the main feedback items were the thin keys at the bottom. That got multiple hits. So definitely made a change there.
Great.
Thank you.